Five-time fantasy champion Floyd Maximus bringing you another video. We're looking at our top 5 busts for the 2015 season. Remember, this is PPR. Please, whatever you do, don't draft these guys unless you want to lose and be the laughingstock of your league this year. Number 5, we got the man out of Alabama, TJ Yeldon. He looks good in the Jaguars jersey, but he's not going to look good in fantasy. He's competing for that number 1 spot. Anyone remember Toby Gerhart last year? That 4th round pick played awful. I mean, you're not going to be able to run behind the Jags line. They didn't do that many improvements. So he's not really someone you want. Also, they're going to be losing the game a lot. They're going to be playing from behind the majority of the game, so they're not going to be able to run the ball. Denard Robinson was a solid back last year, but I mean, you don't want to draft someone when their primary receiver is Allen Robinson and the quarterback's Blake Bortles. They're going to be one of the worst offenses in the league. It's not like he's going to be a fantasy stud. The only player I'd draft on Jacksonville is Maurice Jones-Drew. Dude was a freak, about 5'7", 210 out of UCLA. I would draft him. This was 07, but this is 2015. No Jags on your team ever. At 4, we have Golden Tate, the man once forgotten about. Russell Wilson did want to throw him the ball. I guess they weren't good friends in the locker room. Now he's in Detroit, his 2nd year. He's playing with Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford. People might like him. They think he has a lot of upside, but last year he had 500-yard games. 4 was when Calvin Johnson was out. He's basically useless when Calvin was in the game. Also, during the second half of the season, his production definitely tallied. He only had 1 touchdown in the final 7 games of the season. Who wants that on your team? 50% of his touchdowns came when Calvin Johnson was out. If you want one lion this year, who do you want? You want the rookie, Amir Abdullah. This guy is going to be a stud. The next Barry Sanders. Going to be way better than Reggie Bush on the Lions. Going to be catching passes, going to be breaking ankles. That's the guy you want. You don't want washed up Golden Tate. He ain't going to do shit for you.
Coming in at number 3 is Melvin Gordon, the man out of Wisconsin. I've seen him go in the 3rd round, and I've seen him go as high as the 2nd round. People, what are you doing?
SMH.
Now, why don't I like Melvin Gordon is because Danny Woodhead is returning as a 3rd down back. In 2013, Danny, the man Woodhead, had 8 total touchdowns, so I would expect those touchdowns to be vultured from Gordon. Also, he's a rookie back. He's only going to be playing 1st and 2nd downs. We need him to pass block, and his pass blocking is terrible. That's word right out of camp. And number 1 important fact about Melvin Gordon is the Chargers' offensive line was ranked in the bottom of the league. I'm pretty sure it's 25th overall for running offense. That's terrible. And in at number 2 is Mike Evans on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've seen this guy drafted as a number 1 receiver on fantasy football teams, and I've seen him considered in the top 10 of fantasy wide receivers. What the are you thinking? I want to say this about Mike Evans. Let's go look at his stats. 44% of his fantasy points last year came from 3 games against teams with terrible pass defenses. Go and look this up. This is all true. Cleveland, Atlanta, and Washington were his only 3 big games that made up all of his stats last year. Now, riddle me this, motherfuckers. The last 6 weeks, how many times did Mike Evans have over 55 yards?
0.
0 times! Can you believe that? I don't like him with Jameis. I'd expect Vincent Jackson to bounce back and grab some touchdowns, so do not draft Mike Evans.
Matt Forte, 1st round bust. One fact you need to know. Adam Gase is now the coordinator. He's going to get half his targets, half his catches, split in half. If they were split in half, who would he be similar to, America? Lamar Miller. That is a 3rd round pick, Lamar Miller. I wouldn't want Lamar Miller in the 1st round. So don't draft Matt Forte. Also, they lost Brandon Marshall. He's going to have tougher lanes to run through. They don't have that deep threat. They got Jeffrey. I mean, Kevin White might be dead. I hope he's not because he's on our team. But Forte, you're not going to be as good last year. We had you. We sniped you with the 3rd pick. But your glory days are over, man. Once you hit 29 as a running back, RIP career. Your stats are going to diminish. Maybe 1,000, 1,100 yards for you, but the Bears are always playing from behind. You're not going to be a solid pick. You're going to be a huge bust for teams, ruining fantasy teams this year. How does that make you feel, Forte?
So thank you for watching. Those are our 2015 fantasy football draft busts. I know we kind of made some bold predictions. Let's hear yours. Leave them in the comment section. And once again, we're Floyd Maximus, 5-time fantasy champion. We out.